Hello and welcome to Rebel Watch. I'm Browning Stubbs with Kelsey Davis, Colin Cody, Madison Amon. Guys, it's LSU week. Magnolia Bowl coming this Saturday at Vaught Hemingway Stadium.
I'm real excited. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
Oxford's going to be crazy. The streets going to be full of people, man. It's going to be crazy.
You know, it's going to be a chance for Ole Miss to renew that last year's game against LSU.
Ooh. Yeah, and you know what? But before we dive into all of the LSU stuff, let's briefly talk about the Arkansas Razorbacks and the heartbreaking loss. Ole Miss suffered 53-52 2 weeks ago, and Kelsey, the defense fell apart.
Yeah, that game was not pretty. And really, the defense is going to have to come prepared this week because they've been so inconsistent this season. You see them one game, they're doing great, they're killing it. They're one of the best defenses in the nation. The next, they can't stop the run against Arkansas, can't stop play action. So really, I think the key to this week is getting their stops, and the way they're going to do that is by coming prepared.
And Colin, Brandon Allen, he made Ole Miss look like an FCS opponent on NCAA football.
He did, and Brandon Allen, like you said, he picked Ole Miss apart. Him and Collins, and like you said, the run. Not only could they not stop the run, but the pass and play action game was awful. So hopefully Ole Miss can stop that and be more consistent.
And Madison, if Ole Miss is going to rebound from the loss against Arkansas, they got to watch out for some trick plays because we know who's coaching LSU.
Exactly. You know, like y'all said, it all comes back to the defense. They're going to have to be aware of those trick plays and make sure they're always on the lookout for something suspicious going on the field.
But Kelsey, this game, it's also senior night.
It is. It's senior night, and it's another big SEC West matchup this weekend against the LSU Tigers. I had a chance to catch up with Coach Freeze and a couple of the players to see what they had to say about this upcoming game.
This week, the Ole Miss Rebels will be taking on LSU for the CBS SEC Game of the Week. After a tough 10-7 loss to the Tigers last year that dashed the Rebels' hopes to go unbeaten, this year's game will present new challenges for head coach Hugh Freeze and his team.
Athletic as anyone that you'll face, and they can run, they're long, they have a good scheme, they play hard, so it's a difficult challenge.
And the players are definitely feeling the hype that surrounds this game and what it means for the rest of their season.
Yeah, this is a big game. Everyone knows about the rivalry.
Both teams still got a lot on the line. You know, we're one of the top two teams in the West, so we know if we take care of this week and next week, we still have a chance.
Even though the Rebels' last game ended in a heartbreaking overtime loss to Arkansas, they won't just roll over for the Tigers this weekend, as they believe they still have a lot to play for.
This football team has fought too hard to put yourself in this position, to be relevant, and we love each other too dang much to respond out of anything but love and faith for one another, so take a darn stand.
We still got everything we want right in front of us. You know, of course, we're going to need a little help, but we can only control what we can control. We got to go out and make sure we win these last two games and make a statement, and hopefully things fall our way, and hopefully it'll work out for us at the end of the season.
Ole Miss and LSU will be facing off here in Vaught Hemingway Stadium at 2:30 p.m. on Saturday. For Rebel Watch, Kelsey Davis.
Oxford native Jeremy Liggins originally signed with LSU at Lafayette High School, but eventually found his way to Ole Miss. Shannon Deloche has more.
At high school.
My sophomore year, I got to become the starting quarterback for my high school. The 2 years after that, we went back-to-back 16-0. I think that was like history in the state of Mississippi.
He was recruited in high school by 10 out of the 14 SEC schools. He committed to LSU in January and then signed with them on signing day.
The coaches at LSU, my family, and how all of us bonded together. It was just like a family atmosphere. I think that was really one of the biggest things that got me with LSU.
As fate would have it, Liggins ended up being ineligible academically and found himself at Northeast Community College.
I went to Gulf Coast. I wound up back here at Northwest. I just took classes here for like a semester. Then the following semester, I went to Northeast. Now I stayed there 2 semesters. I played a season. After I got done at Northeast, all the coaches noticed that I was eligible to come back to D1. And it was a lot of schools trying to get me to come play.
Once he finished at JUCO, he committed to Ole Miss and returned to his hometown, something he says was all part of God's plan.
I just left it in his hands, prayed about it, and Ole Miss is where I wound it up. It's been great so far since I've been here, Got Coach Freeze as a good leader, got a lot of good people around, teammates. And plus we've been winning and doing good, so, that's something you always want,
The LSU Tigers will be here at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium on Saturday, and Liggins looks forward to playing the team that he was once almost a part of. Shannon DeLoach, NewsWatch.
Hugh Freeze inherited a 2-10 program when he came to Ole Miss in 2011. Saturday, the seniors who turned the program around will be honored prior to kickoff. Quidden Smith reports.
Justin Bell remembers what it's like to be 2-10. He also knows what it feels like to be contending for the SEC West title.
You know, going from 2-10 to, you know, where we stand now, I mean, it was just extremely a lot of hard work, a lot of scrutiny. I feel like we're leaving a program, we came here and we were successful. No matter, you know, how things play out, we were successful. You know, we leaving a place better than how we found it, so.
Bell will now be suiting up for his final game at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium, something that he has been thinking about for a while now.
Well, the emotions that come to mind when I think about my last game in the Vault, they actually hit me probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was just, of course, it's like a bittersweet feeling, you know, bitter because I'm gonna miss the atmosphere here and, you know, the connections that I made, you know, some of the friendships I made for life. Ole Miss and playing ball here actually prepared me for, you know, life itself.
Bell isn't the only Ole Miss Rebel who will be playing his final game at home. Seniors Mike Hilton and Trey Elston are also experiencing similar emotions.
It's kind of a bittersweet feeling, you know. It's an accomplishment to be a senior and getting ready to graduate, but it's also my last game as an Ole Miss Rebel in Vaught-Hemingway Stadium, so it can go either way. So it's going to be an emotional one for me, but a fun one also.
It'll be a very sad, like I said, but I try not to think about it as much. You know, I just try to think about just getting the win from my teammates and just getting that chemistry. But it'll be a very emotional day for me.
They've carried the team. They've showed all the younger guys the way it's supposed to be, the way that Coach Freeze has put it in place from year one. They've done everything that Coach Freeze has asked them to do.
Hugh Freeze's first recruiting class helped change the culture of Ole Miss football in the last 4 years. The senior class will be taking this field for the last time Saturday against LSU.
It's a big game because it's the next one. Everybody knows how big the rivalry is between us and LSU. You know, we've had a lot. We have plenty of close games over these last couple of years, so we know they're going to come in fired up. We're going to come in fired up, and it's going to be a show Saturday.
This Saturday will be the 104th meeting between Ole Miss and LSU. The Rebels take the field for a 2:30 kickoff for the Magnolia Bowl. Quinn Smith, NewsWatch.
Coming up on RebelWatch, we're going to take a look at the Ole Miss soccer team as they continue their quest for an NCAA championship with a matchup against Clemson on Friday. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The Ole Miss women's soccer team left for Clemson for the second round of the NCAA tournament game. I was fortunate enough to visit the team yesterday before the big game. Let's take a look.
Following last week's victory against Murray State, these Rebs are excited at a chance of making it to the Sweet 16.
I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and Clemson is about 2 hours from Charlotte, North Carolina, so I will have a lot of friends and family there. Pretty excited to be playing near my home state.
Lose, you're out. If you win, you're moving forward, so it's a high-stakes game, so I know that our fans and our family and our friends are just as excited as we are.
You know, we battle injury, we overcome sickness, and we're just so excited to play. I think that's what separates us from a lot of other teams.
It's just a really special time. The idea that we're practicing today and we're one of 32 teams that get to practice today, it's just awesome for our group, awesome for our team, and we'll be excited to get on the road for sure.
Versus Murray State, Ole Miss took 21 shots on goal, and they only came away with 1 point. Yet they are not worried about kicking the ball through the net against Clemson.
I think that we just need to put the ball in the back of the net. Murray State played very defensively and kind of stacked the back, but we had a lot of good opportunities, and I think we just need to finish those opportunities and we'll be fine.
Mainly through this tournament, we want to focus on playing Ole Miss soccer and doing what we do best, and that's possession and just doing all of the little things right and focusing on the details.
You know, they have a great goalkeeper in Clemson, so we're going to have to beat her. We can't just shoot on frame and hope it kind of goes in. We're going to have to take shots that with the idea of we have to beat the goalkeeper.
With the offense struggling to put points on the board, this team must rely on their savvy defense to not allow Clemson to get ahead.
We're just going to have Jess, Liza, and Maddie Freeman keep doing what they've been doing. I think we've done defensively an excellent job this past year, and I can't wait to see how it translates into Friday night.
Our defense has been so solid all season. I think one thing maybe dropping early to give a little bit of space. I think not get too tight to them so they can spin you or anything. So maybe just dropping off of them a little early.
We got to kind of force them into the spaces that we want on the field and just be really good as a team defending. I think that's going to be a very key point to the game, is how good is our total team defending.
Now in the high school football, with Lafayette eliminated from playoff contention, we now focus our attention on the Oxford Chargers. When Rebel Watch returns, our workhorse, David Kennedy, got the chance to sit down with Charger head coach Johnny Hill. Rebel Watch, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Rebel Watch. I'm David Kennedy. Joining me today is the man, the myth, the legend, head coach Johnny Hill. Johnny is in his last season as the head coach of the Oxford Chargers. Johnny, what are you going to miss the most about being the head coach?
Well, you might ask me that after I retire. You know, right now we going full speed and just trying to win another ball game, and you know, but I would think that, you know, I'm gonna miss the kids. It's really nice to have such quality young men to work with every day, and I'll miss my coaching staff and my coaching buddies throughout the state. There's a lot of competitiveness between all the coaches, and we enjoy competing against each other, and we're gonna play as hard and coach as hard as we can. Then a lot of times when we get through, we're still good friends, and you move on. So you know, I think I will miss. You know, I'll miss a lot of that: the planning, the practice, the games, the high points of coaching football, and even some of the low points of coaching.
Now, Johnny, you've won a lot of football games. You've produced a lot of Division I recruits, and you know, you're a big name in the community here. But what do you want to be remembered for?
Well, you know, that's another good question. I would say that someone that blue-collar worker that worked hard, didn't leave any stone unturned, tried to do every angle and take every advantage that you could.
Now, you know, the last 2 seasons hasn't been, you know, the fairy tale ending that you've wanted it to be. You've won state championships at other schools. What is it going to take to finally come through and bring Oxford its first ever high school football state championship?
Well, you know, we're not even talking about state championship now. We got our hands full Friday night with Germantown. Vicksburg gave us all we wanted. Germantown is really, really good football team, very well coached, and they got really good talent, and might be the second best team we've played all year. And then if we can somehow get through that, then we play the winner of Grenada and West Point, and both of those are really, really good. And then if you can somehow get through that landmine, you've got 3-4 teams out of below Jackson that are really good. They're good football teams, and so you know we've been in this long enough. You don't look ahead. You better take care of business this weekend, and that's what our goal is.
And there we have it, folks. Head coach Johnny Hill. Be sure to catch him Friday night when the Oxford Chargers take on Germantown here at Bobby Holcomb Stadium. Back to you guys at the desk.
Kelsey?
I'm taking Ole Miss 21-17. I think that it'll be a low-scoring game. Even though the Rebel defense has some injuries this week, don't shake your head at me, I think that they're going to be able to hold up. I think they're going to get it done. 21-17, Rebs.
Do you not remember the Arkansas game? How many yards was put? I mean, this is going to be identical.
I have faith,
this is going to be
Colin.
identical.
I have faith.
All right, well, I'm rolling Ole Miss 38-34. It's going to be another high-scoring game, and I believe the Rebs going to get it done.
Madison, do you have a different opinion?
I'm going to have to disagree and pick against Ole Miss for the first time this season. LSU wins this game 28-14. The defense having all those players out, and Leonard Fournette, how are they going to stop them without them? So, LSU.
To me, too many questions defensively for Ole Miss, so I'm taking LSU 30-27.